All right, welcome to today's video. I'm pretty pumped for this one because we've got a day of photography in Muskoka. Got a few different locations we're gonna head off to, and at each different photo spot along the way, gonna grab some video and take you a little bit behind the scenes and like what I'm up to. So we got a couple landscape photos. I'll show you the behind the scenes of how we capture them, what we're using, and then obviously just mostly keeping it chill. And going on a nice adventure. So to start today's video, we're actually in Algonquin Park on a trail right now called Track and Tower. Probably one of my favorite trails actually in Algonquin. If you know me from Instagram, you know I mostly shoot street photography. So probably a little whack that we're actually in nature right now, but trust me, it's definitely worth it. We've got a cool viewpoint at the end of this hike. Massive walk up a cliff face, but the view is definitely worth it. So excited for that one. And then after this, we're gonna head on through a few little towns through Muskoka and see what we can get along the way. So one thing I really wanna focus on with this video is obviously a little bit more showing you, oh wow. That's a tree falling over. Oh my God, a tree just fell over. Oh my God. That tree fully just fell over. And as the tree fell over, we're gonna keep on walking, getting to the location. One thing I wanna focus on with today's video is obviously showing you more of the destinations we're actually traveling through. There's a few lookouts along the way. We're gonna just be having some fun, taking some photos. So with that, let's cut into some B-roll and see where we end up. All right, so we've actually gotten to the first photo spot of the day. This is about halfway through to the main lookout that we're trying to get to in Algonquin Park right now. And we've got a gorgeous waterfall off to my right that I wanna grab some photos of. We're gonna make a small photo carousel in this area because the waterfall leads down into this like brook area. There's a really cool boardwalk that also looks just so nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get an ND filter out. And the ND filter we're gonna be using is the Peter McKinnon mag lock system. Literally one of the best filters I've honestly ever bought. And why we're gonna do this is because it's gonna allow us to slow down our shutter speed. That when we put it on the camera lens, we can get a more silky, smooth look to the water actually flowing. So with a high shutter speed, your photo is gonna look something like this. And with a low shutter speed and the ND filter attached, it's gonna look like this. All right, so we finally made it to the top of the hill. We got the camera out with the Sony A1 today. Now, we've already taken a couple photos of the landscape, but it's not really the composition I wanted, and I'm noticing there are a ton of reflections up from the clouds onto the water. So we're now gonna grab a polarizer. All right, so with the mag lock system we used previously on the bridge for the ND filter, this one we just got threaded polarizers. And honestly, there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with either a threaded or the mag lock system. Both are gonna get the job done. And the only thing I'm gonna say about the threads is it's super inconvenient because you just gotta constantly be putting it on, taking it off, whatever. So polarizers are super easy to use as well. Obviously, you just have to find the angle of the light. And then depending on how you turn your polarizer, you're then gonna be able to cut reflections because it cuts out polarized light from the sky. All right, so we got a few of the photos that I wanted with different compositions. The main thing I'm trying to avoid is having too much of this rock in the shot. So I think I'm pretty happy with the last photos, and I put up a few examples as well with the polarizer on and off. Honestly, I try to shoot with a polarizer pretty much all the time because it just really adds to the quality of water that you can get in your photos without having too much of the sky in frame. So that being said, we're gonna grab a few more photos around the area and probably head on our walk back. It's about 4 kilometers to the car, and then we're gonna grab some food, probably like in a little small town somewhere. All right, so we wrapped up the hike and we've made it back to Huntsville, which is just a little small town outside of Algonquin. Right now, the plan is to just grab some photos up on Lion's Lookout because we're gonna make our way to Bracebridge, which is like this little small town that I wanna grab some photos of just because I think it might be kind of nice. Really, it's just like a little photography mission of the day. Nothing too crazy. So the photo that we're gonna get here is just of the actual lake in Huntsville specifically. Again, polarizer's on. I'm gonna see what that turns out like. And I really just wanna take the time in this little small segment to also talk about kind of the importance of like setting aside some time out of your week or maybe a month to give yourself little photography missions. I think one thing that I've personally struggled with is always doing something for social media with my photography and never really taking the time to like do photography adventures actually for myself. The biggest thing with that is that I actually love doing landscape photography, nature photography. When I went to Banff a couple of years ago, it was the most rewarding photography experience I think I've ever had. Similar to Scotland, like just the ability to hike to see an unbelievable like natural formation leads to just some of the most incredible photos and some of the most like best memories that I've had actually doing photography. And so that was kind of the inspiration for today's video and this whole sort of idea. Take the time to just go and explore Muskoka. It's so close to Toronto anyway, and there's so many amazing things to do. Like, why not just go on a random hike and take photos along the way? That's why we're here basically recalibrating in Huntsville at the moment, because the weather on that hike, if you didn't notice some of the video clips, was absolutely insane. It was pouring down rain on us at one point, and we just kept going through the hike in Algonquin Park, and honestly just getting like fired up to keep doing a little bit more of these little photography things. So with that, we're gonna finish up grabbing some of the photos up on the lookout here, then make our way over to Bracebridge, and then keep on capturing some of the photos in Muskoka to make sure we can round out a nice photo set to post on Instagram. All right, so we made it to Bracebridge now. Final stop on today's little excursion. And basically the goal is we're gonna walk the strip, grab some photos along the way, check out some of the town, check out some of the little small shops. There's some cool alleyways as well that you can get some nice photos of. And yeah, just get creative. And honestly, this is literally one of my favorite things to do in cottage country. There's like all these little small towns that literally nobody really knows about. Bracebridge is not one of them. Bracebridge is very well known. But the vibe is just completely different from what I'm used to actually making photos of. And it really just leads to like some more interesting compositions than, you know, the usual like downtown streetcar shot, get to the ground, like take photos of the road, architecture. It's a lot more culture, I'm gonna say, that you can take advantage of. And especially in the summer, a lot more color. Now, while the weather's not too nice, the buildings in this city are extremely colorful. Hilariously, as a fun fact, a lot of those like cheesy Hallmark Christmas movies are actually shot in Bracebridge. So the town gets a ton of renovations done every year to just keep it looking really nice. So yeah, the goal basically is walk around, grab some photos, see what we can make, and then we're gonna round out the day. So let's see what we can get. All right, so I think the way that we're gonna do this, because we've already done a walk through Bracebridge, is we're basically gonna live talk through what photos we're gonna capture in the city. It's looking really quiet, but I kind of just want to capture like, kind of like the mood of what this city is. Obviously, with how cloudy it is, that's gonna be a little bit harder to do. But as the person I'm with pointed out, this mural is really nice. So we're gonna start with this photo, and then we're gonna see what we can get of the murals. So unfortunately, we got this pickup here, but I think you can still get a kind of like a nice colorful photo. Hopefully this truck doesn't run me over. and we can see what this looks like. All right, so one thing we're also trying to do is we're filming everything in this video on the Osmo Pocket, and we're gonna test out the live face tracking feature for you guys. Something we've not really done before because it's a little wonky, if I'm being honest. We never realized you have to hit the record button to actually get the face tracking feature to work. I think they fixed this in a new update, but if they didn't, that kind of is definitely something that I wish they would fix. All right, so we got a movie cinema sign up top. Kind of looks cool. I wish there were like people right here. All right, so what I'm trying to do is basically come out of Bracebridge with one solid photo set. So I wish there were people at the photo we just took of the restaurant, because that would have made like the main photo that I'd be after, but it is what it is. Okay, so while cars honked at me, sometimes you gotta risk it, because at the end of the day, listen, I'm not an advocate for people walking in the middle of the road to take a photo. Do I do it more times than I should? Absolutely. But Bracebridge is one of those towns, like there's not a lot going on. If you're running into intersections in the middle of Toronto and you're not at a crosswalk, the lights aren't red, you're really just asking for trouble. Ooh, these are cool. But so be safe, obviously. All right, next thing is we got paddle boards and kayaks, and you can sneak in. What more do you want? What more do you need? Oh, this looks cool too, actually. Okay, we got a few opportunities now. With how thick the clouds actually are, the photos are just crazy washed out right now. Not as much color as like you would get on a really sunny day, but it's still working out. Just trying to capture like the essence of the city. It's obviously not that big, so I know, right? I just feel like I'm gonna get kicked out. Like, oh, easy. Trying to get a good angle out of this like purple shot, but it is not working out at the moment. All I'm really trying to do with this shot is get some symmetry, or like even asymmetry. So you've got a crosswalk on the ground leading up to the purple store, and then the orange store is right beside it. So in theory, you could get symmetry if you put both the stores right down the middle, and then the different colors is what would lead to visual interest. But with the crosswalk on the ground, that's what I'm trying to use to like actually guide someone's eye and capture attention. So let's see like if we get down low. Yeah, that's better. I like that one. This actually used to be a cafe. Unfortunately, it looks like it turned into a shop. But I have a photo here. I don't think I can find it for this video. It's sitting on a hard drive somewhere. But I have a cool shot of like a bunch of people sitting in here, like eating and doing whatever, in like a morning. It just was full of color. This whole alley had flowers and just really nice things in it. And right now it's looking a little bland. Needs a paint job. The biggest thing when it comes to taking a photo carousel or exploring a new place and actually making photos of it is making sure the area that you're in actually has like come to life. One of the things I always say when I really enjoy the photos that I'm making is that like I'm capturing like the vibe or like the mood of the area that I'm in. And right now with how sleepy this city is, I'm thinking after 4 o'clock on a Sunday, everybody's off doing their own thing at the lake. They're not in the downtown core. Just like I can't blame them. All right, and that's pretty much gonna bring today's little photography adventure to a close. It's Canada Day long weekend, so what better way to spend a Sunday than just like going on a hike, seeing the little local towns around the area, grabbing what photos we can, and rounding it all out. So if you are interested in some of the gear that was used in today's video, next video that comes out is gonna break down everything. Basically like everything that I use to make content, pretty much like, I'm gonna say 60% of what I used to make content we use in today's video. So, but there's gonna be a lot more I'm gonna talk about as well that you might wanna think about. So if you did enjoy today's video, comment down below. Let me know if it's something that you wanna see more of, this sort of style that's like, I'm gonna say a little bit more vloggy, not so information based. And I can figure out different concepts that I can make to be able to do that. Because
the main goal with this channel is to not only teach you all the things that you need to know about how to be a content creator, but also making content and just being fired up about what we're actually making along the way. So Northern Ontario is definitely one of those things I want to make content about and keep exploring. So with that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to give it a like if you did, and see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.